Hello everybody, welcome to this special Valentine's Day tutorial. We're going to go over how to model the heart and create the text and then create this little Valentine's Day animation at the end. This tutorial is not meant for a beginner so much. If you don't know how to use Blender, you're going to be frustrated because I assume that you already understand where to find most things and that you're just looking to increase maybe some of your modeling or animation skills in this tutorial. So if you're looking for more of a beginner's tutorial, I have some other tutorials on my channel and there's a ton on YouTube. And so I suggest you go watch those and then come back to this one. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've already got Blender open here, and let's go ahead and just select our camera, shift select our light there and hit X and delete. Now I'm going to hit 1 on my keyboard, and I'm going to select my cube and tab into edit mode, and then I'm going to hit Alt M, and I'm going to merge all of those vertices. I'm in vertice mode right here, so hit Alt M and center, and then that merges my whole cube down into one single vertex. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my snapping, and I'm going to use this absolute grid snap. That means that wherever I move this vertex, it will always be at the intersection of one of my grid lines there. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit G and Z. I'm going to move my vertex up until it is halfway in between this line here and here. And then next, I'm going to hit E, which is extrude, and I'm going to extrude a vertex up so that my vertex is right here at the midline between my Z-axis and my +1, grid line there. And then I'm going to hit E again, and I'm going to move another vertex down so that it's here at, what is that, +1 in the X and +0.5. Okay. And then I'm going to hit E again and go ahead and move another vertex here. So it's at what, 0 and, no, I'm sorry, that would be 0.5 and 0. I haven't done math in a while. And finally, I'm going to hit E one more time, and I'm going to move this down, we'll say there. So that would be X is at 0 and Y or Z in Blender is a -0.7. Now this doesn't look much like a heart right now, and that's because we need to do some work on it. So I'm going to grab these 3 vertices, and I'm going to turn off my snapping, and then I'm going to hit Control B. I'm going to pull out a little bit and then click, and you'll see that this bevel option menu opens up, and the first thing I'm going to do is click vertex only. Now you can see that something's going on. The next thing I'm going to do is turn my segments up to, yeah, we'll say 4. And then I'm going to go ahead, and what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at right here these 2 vertices and these 2 vertices. And what I want is I want them to be as close as possible to each other, like that. Okay, now I'm going to select these 2 vertices and hit Alt M and center, these 2 vertices and Alt M and center. All right. Now I can come here to my modifier tab and open up modifiers and hit mirror. And you can see I have what looks like a pretty good looking heart. I'm going to apply that, tab into object mode and then click apply, and then tab into edit mode, and I'm going to grab this and these 2 vertices and do the same thing. Control B, pull out a little bit, vertex only, and I'm going to take, no, let's keep it with 4. Yeah, something like that. All right. So now that I have my heart shape, going to double click on one of those vertices and it'll select them all, or I can hit B and box select, and then I'm going to hit F, and that will create a face between all of my vertices. And then I'm going to hit I for inset, and that will inset my face, giving me more vertices. Now the first thing that you'll notice is right here we're having some issues. So I'm going to go into my wireframe mode and just select all of these vertices right here and hit Alt M and center. And then I'm going to hit G and Z, and I'm going to move that up just a little bit. Okay, so then I'm going to double click again and hit I one more time and I one more time. Perfect. So then I'm going to hit Control and plus twice until I've selected everything but that outermost ring of vertices. And then I'm going to kind of move my camera so I'm at a 3/4 view, and I'm going to hit G and Y, and I'm going to move that out a little bit, and then I'm going to hit Control and minus and G and Y and move it out further, and then Control and minus and G and Y and move that out furthest. Okay, and now I want those to be rounded, so I'm this edge right here. Sorry, I'm not being very clear. I want this edge to be rounded, so I'm going to hit G and B, and I'm going to bevel. I'm going to change that to 3. Bevel that like so. All right, let's just go ahead and add in one quick. Let's see here. Now I'm going to use my knife tool, and we're going to make some quick cuts. The first cut I'm going to make, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cut right here. I'm going to hit K, and I'm going to separate this big face. And then I'm going to select all of these vertices on that side and hit X and delete vertices. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit X here, or I'm sorry, K. And we're going to go ahead and add in some cuts. And you can see I went ahead and ended that cut right there, and then K. And I'm going to hit Control, which will mean that my cuts will be right in the center. And I'm going to cut this all the way up like that. Yeah, sure. Okay, and then I'm going to cut, well, actually, I did the wrong thing. I'm going to select that and go to Edge Mode, and hit B and middle mouse button drag, and deselect all of those all of those. 1, 2. Hit X and dissolve edges, and then K, and end that there. Okay, and then I'm going to grab these 2 edges and hit X and dissolve edges. We're just cleaning up the geometry a little bit. And now let's go ahead and hit K and put in a cut here, and K, put in a cut here, K, 1 cut here, and then this is where it gets a little tricky. Just put some cuts in, connect these up, something like that. The reason I didn't go here is I want this to be a quad, meaning that there's four sides. Okay, now we'll go to Modifier, Mirror, and we've got it in the X. Let's also mirror in the Y, like that. And then we'll go to Object, tab in Edit Mode, Object, Shade Smooth, and then Modifier, Subdivision Surface. And now I can see what I want to do. The first thing I want to do is grab this vertex and hit G twice and pull that out like that. And then this one, G twice. And then I'm going to get rid of these vertices. It's not deleting like it should. So I can just snap these vertices here. And by distance, and then snap these vertices. Okay, that looks a little bit better. And merge by distance. And then I'm going to grab this edge here and hit G twice and move that out. This edge, G twice and move it out. This edge, G, this edge. Something kind of like that. Okay, and then the last thing is I see these points here. So let's go ahead and move some of these down. Ah, that's my problem. I can dissolve this edge and instead put a line straight through and then move this edge down and these edges back. Okay, so now that we have our heart, let's go ahead and save. And let's go ahead and apply our mirror and do one more bevel, Control B, and just bevel the heart like that, just to give it some more soft edges. You don't want it to be too harsh. Now we can go into our Material tab and open up a shader editor. And we can change the color. Go into look dev there, change the color to maybe a deep red. And increase the roughness, the specular a little bit. Now let's go ahead and add some text real quick. Shift A. See here, where's the text? There it is. Oh, 7. To go to top view tab, let's type happy. And if I come into the text tab here, I can put the alignment to center, and then R and X, and type in 90, G and Z, and I'll move that up, and then Shift D and Z. We can type in Valentine's Day. I believe that's spelled right. And let's scale that down. Perfect. Let's go ahead and just give those the same material. Okay, so now let's hit Shift A and add in a camera and hit 0, and then hit N and lock camera to view, and then hold Control and middle mouse button, drag out. and then G and Z, kind of frame it up a little bit. And then hit Shift A and a light, and grab a sun, and hit R, just from our R and Y. There you go. To see what our sun is doing, let's go into rendered view and turn our world color to black. And maybe turn our sun strength up to 5. So, and then we can hit R and Z. There we go. So that's one light, and hit Shift D on our sun, and then R and X. I'm sorry. Oops. Hit 7, there you go. Let's go ahead and add in a rim light real quick. Kind of something like this. Perfect. And last but not least, let's add in some animation to our heart. We'll go to the graph editor and hit I, rotation, and then go, let's say, 30 frames, and hit R and Z, and type 360, and I, rotation. And then hit A to select everything, key, interpolation type, linear. And then I'll set my timeline, I'll set my end frame to 29. Now, if we watch the animation, our heart is spinning. So we can go ahead and set up our render, which is here in the Properties tab. We'll set our output here to the desktop and type in Valentine's vid.mp4, MP4, except change our file format to FFmpeg and the encoding to MP4, MPEG-4. Video codec, medium quality, no audio. That all looks good to me. All right, so now we can, the only thing I would do is come in here to this and raise this up just a tad. And then I want this back end to be white, and so I'm going to change my render engine to cycles and change this to 512, and my total bounces to 3, and my diffuse and glossy to 1, my transparency to 0, and my transition to 2. And then down here in the film, I'm going to set this to transparent. And then last but not least, we'll head over to the compositor and hit Use Nodes, and hit Shift A and RGB, yeah. And then hit Shift A and a mix. No, I'm sorry, alpha over, Shift A. That's what it is, alpha over. And I'm going to take this image and put it here. I'm going to take this image and put it here. And now, if we render image, now that the image is rendered, we can hit Control Shift and click on our alpha over, and click on this backdrop, and you can see that we have a white backdrop. So I'm just going to increase this so that it's 100% white. And then make sure that this image from our alpha over is clicked into the composite. Then I'm just going to save. And oh, I forgot to choose my GPU. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and render this animation. Okay, there we go. So our render is done. Let me go ahead and play the video. I hope that this has been a helpful tutorial for you. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you so choose. And I will see you next time.